Hello, users, and welcome to another episode of Above It All. This is a series in which I will step down from my palace in the heavens of the sky. You'll see like a little staircase made of clouds plop down, and down goes me because, I'm a godly figure. I'm just amazing, beautiful, I'm fantastic, I'm just a great person. And you are actually in a current, like, whatever you're doing right now, like, if this is the first time you've ever seen me or whatever, you're lucky. You stumbled upon the greatest YouTube channel of all time. That's mine. And welcome. So just, be sure to subscribe, smash the like button, right? Because, without that solidarity, what are we going to do? Anyway, so today, also give me money on Patreon. So today, I want to talk about Bernard Sanders. Should he drop out? Right? Like, this is like a thing. Apparently, Faiz Shakir and Pramila Jayapal have been urging him to suspend his campaign and focus on other things. And Nina Turner, among other people, probably David Sirota, have been pushing him to stay in. And I'd like to put my opinion on the table. I've seen some other people talk about this. Should Bernie drop out? Is, whatever. So my opinion, let me just get this right off the bat. There are two major things that if you talk about these two major things while you talk about Bernie should or should not dropping out, I'll accept your opinion. But if you're going to go out there and not mention election fraud, exit poll disparities, voter machines being hackable, like Iowa caucus debacle, all this bullshit. If you're not going to mention election fraud in any capacity when you make your argument on whether or not Sanders should drop out, I can't take you seriously. I'm sorry. And also, the fact that Wisconsin is holding a primary during a pandemic. They've canceled it and then uncanceled it, and now they're fighting really hard to make sure that the primary still happens. It seems that also because mostly, I think it impacts the state Supreme Court, I think, is their argumentation for it, but either way, if you, like, there's a lot of people saying like, oh, if Bernie gets trounced on Tuesday's primary, it's like, no, we have to stop this whole conversation. There is no primary in Wisconsin for the president. If you go in thinking that these primaries are legitimate, then you're buying into the narrative that, well, why should they stop them? And they should stop them. The Bernie campaign should 1,000% unify to say that the primary should be suspended and call for Joe Biden and himself to suspend the campaigns. That's what should happen, in my opinion. That would be like the alpha move. But they're pretending that, again, it frightens me that the Bernie campaign isn't mentioning election fraud and exit poll disparities. That's frightening. But at the same time, it's like, the Joe Biden campaign told people to go vote in Florida, Illinois, and Arizona. Turns out a lot of poll workers that were working on those days had COVID-19, and it's caused a giant spike in cases. This is documentable. This is irrefutable proof. Simone Sanders was on CNN saying, go vote, even though the CDC says not to. Go vote. Go watch my video where I talk about the Florida poll workers for my full opinion on that. But it's one of those things where, again, we're in a situation where, you want him to drop out of the race during a pandemic? When this is the best opportunity? And again, it's awful, of course, but you're given like a golden opportunity to actually turn the primaries around. You completely outpace Joe Biden in leadership position. You call for the primaries to be suspended. You call for a mutual suspension, right? And then you continue to debate Joe Biden. And if he doesn't show up, you need to go on TV everywhere you can and ask why Joe Biden won't debate you. Like, there's such an easy route to victory here. And again, it's worrisome that people in the campaign are thinking that, again, we're not in a legitimate primary. So you just shouldn't treat it as one. Like, there's the argument that you have to toe the line and use mainstream talking points, but that ship has sailed, right? That did not work. If you were to go all in on that from the get-go and go all in on electability from the get-go, then yes, we'd be in a different situation right now, and I would agree with you. But right now, this is Hail Mary time. You need to, again, try to suspend all these primaries, right? Suspend the convention if necessary, and you need to be out there every single day asking why Joe Biden's afraid of debating you, and just saying that he's not ready for this crisis, and I am. That's the ticket to winning. That's that in my vision. Dropping out now would just let Biden go unopposed throughout like the general, and he needs checks. He needs checks because again, he's going to get trounced by Donald Trump, and maybe you can make the argument that if he stays in recovery mode instead of having to maybe deal with Bernie Sanders every now and then, that maybe he'll be able to stumble through the election. But that's a big maybe. I'd rather throw all my might into the only person that I know at least has a chance to beat Donald Trump, and I know Biden ain't that. Not to mention, he's a fucking rapist piece of garbage. Like, again, there's so many guaranteed things that you have to talk about if you're going to try to weigh in on this situation. And if you're not mentioning that Biden's a rapist when you discuss whether or not Bernie should drop out, I just can't take you seriously. Like, I'm sorry. I just can't. I just can't, and I won't take you seriously. I think either you are trying to gaslight everyone, or you have been successfully gaslit, and you're no longer on our team. And I've seen like a few people again, whom otherwise I do respect, fall for this. And no, the election is not. I'm not saying it's all fraudulent. Am I saying that Joe Biden successfully won every district in Michigan? I don't think so. I don't think he did. I don't think that that's true. But does that mean that I don't think he won Michigan at all? I also don't think that's true. One of the things is you can manufacture consent in such an easy way. You cheat South Carolina, you cheat a few states on Super Tuesday, you do the whole endorsement coalescence, so it's hard to prove which one actually was the breaking factor and which one were successful political plays. You melt everything together, so election fraud and coalescence endorsements all line up, so you can't really single anything out. And then you just manufacture consent. You spend a month manufacturing consent for Joe Biden that doesn't exist. You have half the people that endorse him now were saying he can't fucking do this a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, and all of a sudden they're all in on Joe Biden. Like, it's such an easy wall to crack. But it's just the fact that there are people in the campaign that aren't in it to win it. Personally, I'm sorry. There are poor people out there that are going to die if Joe Biden's the nominee, and that are going to die if Trump's reelected, which is more likely. Like, I'm sorry, but you just have to start thinking of them, and just who gives a shit about this unity project? Like, they're gonna fuck us as hard as they can no matter what. There is no such thing as gaining leverage by quitting out now. That's just, I'm sorry, it's a fool's errand. It's what Elizabeth Warren is falling for unless she's the one orchestrating it herself. You are not going to gain any leverage. You are not going to do anything unless you gain that power. And again, there's going to be thousands of people that are on their deathbeds very soon, if not now, from the coronavirus outbreak, that don't give a shit about Joe Biden or Donald Trump, but know in the back of their mind, if Bernie were president right now, this wouldn't be happening to me. And that's just one of those things you just have to keep in mind. And again, when we live in a this is like an easy slam dunk. Joe Biden's a rapist. Like, there's a documentable election fraud, and they're trying to push and rush primaries during a pandemic. The fact that people have pretended that Illinois, Arizona, and Florida were legitimate primaries, they were not. Like, there were people that did not go to vote because they didn't want to die. And there are people that are going to die because they went and voted. How is that a legitimate primary election? Like, are you kidding me? Not to mention there's people trying to, install fucking Andrew Cuomo as the nominee instead of Joe Biden. That's just, this is a shit show, dude. This is an epic fucking disaster. And I don't want to be here anymore. I just want to go into a long slumber, but I'm going to try my best to stay alive. Anyway, if you disagree, let me know. If you have anything to add, let me know. I'm very amenable on a lot of these things. These are just my own. This is how I construct my argument. I could be missing some stuff. I'm not writing out these videos. This is all just from the hip. I'm shooting from the goddamn hip here. And I just want healthcare. That's all I can tell you is I just want fucking healthcare. And I want people that don't have healthcare that aren't me to also have healthcare because I care about other people. And there you go. Should Bernie drop out? Yes or no? And if so or if not, why not or why so? And I will see you tomorrow or tonight if I make another video, which I might. It's totally possible. Or I'll see you tomorrow, and y'all have a good one. Thank you. Now it's over. Oh, God. Those fucking socialists falling for my fucking schemes once again. Unbelievable. The Marxist